All right. Hello, state and local policymaking class. My name is Blake Klostermeyer. Today I am here with Terry Cunningham, and we are going to be discussing some housing related issues that are facing Bozeman residents. So, first of all, thank you so much, Terry, for joining me today. And I will allow you to introduce yourself in just a second. So, take it away.
Thanks, Blake, and happy to participate. My name's Terry Cunningham. I'm Bozeman's deputy mayor, and so I'm one of five Bozeman city commissioners. It really has to do with Bozeman's popularity and desirability. We're the fastest growing, one of the fastest growing cities in America, and we have a lot of reasons for that. But that has placed a lot of pressure on our housing market. And we did a needs assessment, housing needs assessment in 2019 that showed stress all along the housing continuum, everything from shelter, basic needs, subsidized rental, marketplace rental, entry-level homes, step-up homes, and even larger homes. That there is just not enough supply, and as a result, this mismatch between supply and demand has increased costs for all types of housing in Bozeman. And so we have a math problem partially. We don't have enough supply of housing to meet the needs of Bozeman residents, and it's all along that spectrum. Have a housing action plan that was adopted 2 years ago, and it has 75 different action steps. And so there's a variety. So starting at the most basic level in terms of shelter, what we're seeing is people who used to be able to afford low cost rent in Bozeman are now camping in city parks. They are in RVs, et cetera. They are unhoused. And so we are working with HRDC to increase to 24 hours, 12 months a year, their warming center, then get a true homeless shelter out of the ground and built, and working with low-income housing tax credit providers that can provide the really uh, low-income targeted rent to Bozeman residents, trying to get as many of those out of the ground. As you step up, one of the things that we recognize is that for rental market, there is a healthy rental market has between a 5 and 7% vacancy rate. And that's when prices get competitive. That's when landlords react to market pressure. That's where the renter has as much clout as the landlord. And we are at between 0 and 1%. So we need to get more rental units out of the ground. And we're doing that right now. We're seeing a number of projects being proposed, but it takes roughly 3 to 4 years from the beginning of a project when land is purchased until it comes out of the ground and is available for rent. Now, it's behind Lowe's, and it's a project that's really interesting because it covers a lot of different needs. There are 96 units that are senior housing units for rent and 136 that are for all families. And it's a low-income housing tax credit project, and it'll, since there's multiple people per household, we believe that 500 people will be served by this project. And it's a project that specifically targets below 60% of area median income. So it really is hitting a need where people who cannot afford rent in Bozeman can afford to live here. And we're actually seeing some of the residents who are living in cars and RVs signing up for these apartments, and they're part of the workforce. The other part of that project is that Family Promise has created a new childhood education center on the same parcel of land. It's an entirely new building, and Community Health Partners, which is our low income medical, dental, and mental health provider, is also bringing a project out of the ground on that same parcel. So it's got housing, it's got medical, and it's got childcare all in one project. I'm really excited.
Bozeman residents should reconsider the design of their current living arrangements. Tiny houses pose a viable option for temporary places of residence until durable policy can be established and implemented. Tiny houses offer a more affordable lifestyle. Most tiny homes are constructed for around $59,000, although many have been created for less than $5,000 if the owner is able to work resourcefully. The tiny house provides a reasonable alternative to traditional housing costs. Tiny houses are more efficient. The average tiny home is anywhere from 100 to 400 square feet, as opposed to the average American home, which falls around 2,600 square feet. Tiny houses reduce the individual's carbon footprint by around 45%, and they utilize about 7% of the energy that a traditional house would. Tiny homes are allowing younger generations to expand their horizons. They require far less expense and provide homeowners an opportunity to secure themselves financially. Instead of expressing doubts about alternative living, society should embrace a receptive attitude towards this action. Living a minimalistic lifestyle could be a positive step to take in this growing issue of wealth inequality.